Hey guys, welcome back to Tidbits and Tea. I have a sketch for you today. This is a story for the one that telepathically contacted me wanting to be drawn. So this is for her. So I started in the center here. I have this female and this male. I got equal give and take, all in the glory of love, crying, laughing. Everyone knows they have a strong story, but now they're ready to tell people. So I'm not 100% sure. I wasn't sure if they were a couple or a mother and a son. I had a real hard time defining that relationship right there. What I did get, though, is that the first love, whether it's the mother or it's an actual female, was busy with friends, having fun with friends, doing things. There were lots of interruptions, other people. They were all over the direction. The female was all over in all directions, everywhere, here, there. And I kept hearing, you don't have to do it alone. You don't have to do it alone. You don't always have to be right. You don't have to defend yourself. Let me help you. Let me help you. We can do it together. It really felt a lot like a couple. But then I got the mother's sick, very sick, possible death, a lot of grief. I had a lot of grief come in. So I'm not sure if maybe this is the son trying to help the mother. But I got, there were a lot of mixed things. So I think this girl here is the one that I'm reading. Possibly about this gentleman also, who is also this gentleman, which would be her father. And I'll tell you why soon. But somebody's mother died and they were very sick with grief. So possibly her mother died or her grandmother died. I'm not 100% sure on that one. I got hurry up, and then I got walk, don't run. Even if they're after you, walk, don't run. You need to be walking on air. A lot of flow, a lot of movement, slow down. So all of that was this area here. And this is a really interesting one to, if you can get to the drawing, to watch, because a lot of times I would draw the face and then I'd change the face and then I'd change it again, but it was almost telling a story through the emotions. There's still stuff coming out in this. There's a lot going on with this. So there's a lot of people in the mix. There was a lot of interference. I got interrupted heavily, but I got interrupted, it was by a child. And as I got interrupted by the child, I was right in the middle of drawing this. So I don't know if this gentleman or the relationship got interrupted with a child, or if he was getting ready to do something and there was a child that interrupted something that caused, I don't think it caused anything bad, but it caused a delay or caused something to shift. But then I got this female here. I was drawing different things, and this female here, and this gentleman is the same one here. And I kept having a snake come out down in here, but it was almost like her face. It's like this woman is a snake, and I don't know if this woman caused issues between these two, or was the mother or his mother, her grandmother, or her actual mother. But I really felt more like this was his mother, and that she had a binding on him almost, because the snake came down and was holding onto his right arm, almost causing the burdens of the world. And it could have been a girlfriend, could have been an ex-wife, but whatever it was, there was a lot of butting heads, a lot of resentment. We're too much alike. We're way too much alike, but we need to learn to get along better. There was a lot of back and forth, a lot of fighting when there shouldn't have been fighting, a lot of defending when there was nothing to defend from. But everybody was always interrupting everybody, and it could have been this gentleman here. Everybody was always in his business. Everybody was always needing him for things, wanting him here, wanting them there. And through it all, he just looks very disgruntled and stoic. Stoic is the word I kept getting. Very stoic, very, this is how it is. This is how it's going to be. This is how we do it. I don't even want to say control, almost like accepting how things are in life, and this is just how it's going to be. It's a matter of time, but then there was a panic in the house. Somebody was nervous to come home. Somebody didn't want to come home. So I don't know if maybe her mother died and it got to a point that they were fighting so bad that he just didn't even want to come home. He didn't want to be around because he didn't know what to expect when he walked in the house. That song by the Killers, A Matter of Time, that came to my head. The lyrics were going through that. You can look those up if you'd like to. That was way too much for me to write down. But I don't think he knew where he stood in a relationship, and he was afraid to come home because he didn't know what to expect. And it was a matter of time before things blew up. And I kept getting, let's just throw in the towel. Let's just call it what it is. And then it got really quiet. And I kept drawing. And then I got a storm. And after the storm, things started to settle. I got kids again, something about kids. And then I heard the song Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. And it was like he was tucking a little girl into bed at night. And that song, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, I feel like crying. That Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star kept coming up. So maybe he used to sing it to her when she went to sleep. Or maybe her mother used to sing it to her when she went to sleep. I'm not 100%, but I know things settled after the storm. And then I got Mommy's Little Monster. No job, no career, running off with the boys, hanging out with the friends, doing her thing, doing whatever she wanted to do. And I kept getting Mommy's Little Monster. Not the lyrics necessarily to that song. I think it's that Social Distortion. I can't remember. But the song came to my mind. I don't remember all the lyrics, so maybe that applies, maybe it doesn't. And then it jumped. It jumped from Mommy's Little Monster and life being a mess and life being out of control to God, salvation, being worthy of anything, being worthy of something, being worthy of self, and deciding to follow God and focusing on God. And I'm not sure, there was a very blurred line between the father and the daughter. I had trouble, and maybe I'm reading both of them. Maybe they're the two that are butting heads because they're so much alike. As girls grow up, sometimes dads don't know how to deal with them because they're not the same little girl that they were when they were little, especially maybe if dad traveled for a job, if dad wasn't home all the time, or mom and dad had disruptions. But you can see here, even around his throat in this area here, he keeps his mouth shut the whole time. And I just realized my video is not recording. Dang. Wow, okay, so my video was recording. So there was illusions, possibly delusions, possibly thinking something that wasn't true, or seeing things a certain way and they really were another way. So I think there was a lot of miscommunication and just not understanding each other. And again, I go back to, you see around his throat, but it's him and his throat. It's nobody else closing his throat chakra down. He decided to become stoic. He decided to not speak. He decided, I'm just gonna leave it like it is. On his left side, on the elbow, there's a face, movement forward, not wanting to move forward comfortably, not being able to change directions. So I don't know if it was a mother or a wife that didn't want him to change directions or move directions, or maybe there was a group of people that didn't want him to change directions. One way or the other, somebody wanted him to not change directions. Now, part of the reason I think this is a mother is because when I first drew these two, he was holding her hand. And as I came around drawing Mommy's Little Monster here, he was holding her hand. Very interesting with that. I got as I was drawing her, she was angry and grouchy, and then she, like it just wasn't right, and then it was complacent, then it wasn't right, and then it was happy, and then all of a sudden she was holding his hand. So it's almost like whoever this girl is has done a lot of inner childhood healing and has really worked on herself a lot to a point where she's happy. Her father is sitting on her heart, but his tongue is sticking out. So part of me thinks she misses when he was silly and goofy and not stoic. So maybe when she was younger, he was more playful and more of a goofball. Maybe he had more joy. Maybe he was happier. Maybe the weight was lighter. The responsibility wasn't as heavy. But she cherishes those memories and she holds them very close. And I'm going to cry again. Oh my goodness. But either way, there's a bond between the two of them, and they're holding each other's hand, and he's holding onto her very, very tightly. Maybe it's one of the few things in life he protects that means that much to him. He's very protective, and as I say that, I'm looking at I'm on his root chakra now, and it's being protected for some reason, which that should have come up at the end of the reading, but it's coming up now. Also on his right side thigh, which is support, and that's male support, that's part of the stoicism. So maybe he lost a father when he was younger. Maybe he didn't have the support he needed. So he's wanting to give that to the daughter. And that could have been some of the butting of heads, because here he is not wanting her to move forward with ease. He wants her to go, maybe he's a little controlling. Maybe he wants her to go certain directions and she's going her own directions, and he wants to be the support system and she's ready to be herself. And there's this butting of heads because they're so much like each other possibly, and at the same time very different because girls aren't men, and there's differences. But maybe they are a lot alike. However, I do think that he wants to give her the support he didn't get. But being a girl, she probably needs a different kind of support because possibly she lost a mother and not a father. So it's a different type of support. And I could be wrong. Maybe her mother is still alive and things are good. Maybe it ended up being a divorce and it was a back and forth and he never knew what to expect when he came back. So there's that. I got, after I got Following God, I got Couples Corner, Can't Stop This Feeling, Dance, 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 Dance. I just want to dance. Everybody needs to dance. It's a girl dynamic. And I was down here drawing this, and I think this is a boyfriend possibly. And for numerous reasons I say that. One, he was really sad when I started drawing him, and he wasn't sure, like he could tell he wasn't sure. And then all of a sudden their arms are around each other, and it just wasn't right, and I kept messing with it, and then he was happy, and then it wasn't right, and now it's like a content feeling I get from him. But I mean, in the corner, I kept jotting down all these emotions, worried, happy, sad, happy, and then here's Dad peeking over the shoulder, right in the middle, kind of making sure that he's minding his P's and Q's, and that he's treating her right. You can just tell Dad's right in the middle of this. And maybe that was the stress. Does Dad like me? Is this going to work? How is this going to play out? But they seem pretty happy together. I don't see negative emotions running through them. I really don't see, like I said, I don't see either one of them carrying a lot of emotional baggage. I think she's having issues assimilating her father's level of joy and happiness and where he is right now, because I think she really wants him back to be like he was when she was a kid. That's what I get from her. She wants things to be more lightweight, more fun. And maybe he's very intense. I mean, this picture up here is extremely intense. So then, and I can feel a time crunch right now. I'm on a time frame to get this and put it out, and to do it before I forget all the downloads. I have something happening in 20 minutes, so I'm trying to move through it. So maybe one of them is on a time frame with something and time is running out, or time is almost run out. And then I got constant changes. And emotional feels. You drive me crazy. Somewhere in all of this, and after the storm, there was the can't stop this feeling. I was in here drawing this, and I got this girl here that does not look like her. She wasn't in the picture yet, so if you watch, I got this girl here, and he's kind of peeking over her shoulder and watching her, and he's got this stupid shit-eating grin on his face like he likes her. So I don't know if this is the mother or a new girl. I do feel like it's somebody he's met. Yet on her right side, he's peering over her shoulder, and he's not looking at her, he's looking at everything else, more like and I can't tell if he's sad, contemplative, thinking, distracted, but it's almost like he's watching what's happening. So his male side, his dominant side, is almost protective or investigative, and on the feminine side, he's got the ushy, gushy, mushy feelings that he's not going to show. And she's got a rabbit on her chest, so I don't know if he slept with her or not. Or maybe he's looking at her as a love interest. I'm not sure if it's lustful energy or if it's actual love energy at the point I was drawing it. As I move forward into it, I think it's a lot more than that for other reasons. But there's a lot happening around her and him, and there's all this interference. And if you want to zoom in, you can look at all the pictures. If it's your story, you'll recognize some of these characters and some of the images of people. Some of them are extremely explicit who they are, and some, you can just see the person, and others you can't. But even coming down here, it looks like he possibly had heart issues at one time. You can see how heavy his heart is in this picture here with the eyes. And then even on his shoulder, it's like he's carrying this snake. So whoever had him bound, possibly a viper or a python spirit, and keeping him constricted, keeping him not trapped, but stuck where he couldn't move forward, really wearing him down. And it could have been a girlfriend again, or it could have been a family member. It could have even been a sister. I don't know that. But he's, you can tell he's just disgruntled and unhappy. And it looks like his heart, like it was being sucked dry, like all the joy, that's it. All the joy was being sucked out of his heart. Everything she remembered, this happy-go-lucky, silly, goofy dad, is now turned into not heartless, but no joy. Like the joy's been sucked out of him. Like life has just thrown him lemons, and he doesn't know how to make lemonade. He doesn't even understand the concept of lemonade, because at this point, we're gonna take the lemons and throw them at your head. That's what we're gonna do. If you come at me, I'm gonna throw the lemon at your head. There's no making lemonade and sitting down and talking it over. I'm done. So I think he went through a phase of that. I don't feel like he stayed in the phase, because then after that I got the drive you crazy. It's time to go, something about Hollywood. So I don't know if one of them is going to California or to Hollywood, but I got Hollywood and it's time to go. But then I got the color blue. The color blue is extremely prominent. And then I had the song pop into my head from How to Train Your Dragon. And the scene that popped into my head is when Stoic saves Hiccup. So, that's not Stoic. Stoic was the father and he saved the sons. So Stoic saves Hiccup. Sorry, I had to get that right. So I don't know if this man if he has a young child or a boy, or he saves children, or if there's a child he saved. But I got How to Train Your Dragon. That was very strong. And I got, out of nowhere, I got an interruption. And the interruption was really fast and hard. But then I got, it's an assist from a friend. And I got, you're welcome, buddy. So maybe he has a friend and they call each other buddy. But whoever that is a really good friend. Maybe he needed the confirmation on that person. But the one that calls him buddy, it was a true assist from a friend, and he was sincere, and he's a sincere friend, and it's the one that says, you're welcome, buddy. They call each other buddy, or at least the one guy calls him buddy. And then I had, I need more storage. Maybe we're moving, maybe somebody's going into storage, maybe somebody needs more storage space, maybe on a hard drive, on a computer, but somebody needed more storage for something. And then I got focus on your personal needs, focus on your personal needs. So I don't know if he's focusing on his personal needs because there was some type of disruption or things going on. And then I got, again, heavy with the stoic kept coming up. I want to marry you, falling in love. It's not easy. I can't leave everything behind. I have a lot of baggage. So maybe he fell for this girl here, whoever she is. And I mean, she's an interesting one. She's either up to something, or she's extremely intense, or she's got an eye on a lot of things. She looks like she's really analyzing and studying something. She's looking over here. He's watching her and she is focused on something. Here she seems happy on this side. Her feminine side seems, well, I wanted to say it seems complacent, but it looks more concerned and worried about something, whereas the right side looks like she's got a cap on something and she's clocking something. So maybe there's something she's watching and clocking, and it's not that she's not paying attention to him. It's that whatever has her attention, she has to watch because maybe it's going to come back and bite her in the ass. So while he's looking over here protecting her, she's looking in this direction and he's not seeing. Maybe he's looking at this mess here. Maybe it's her mess he jumped into, or both of theirs. I'm not sure on that. But he's looking in this direction and she's looking in that direction. And her arms are crossed. Crossed arms are a sign of protection. So maybe she feels like she needs to protect herself from something because, again, this is a concerned and worried face. And this is an intense, that I know what's happening face. And I see everything clearly. So that was there. And then I got stay safe. The future's unknown. Gotta believe it. You just gotta believe it. So I'm not sure if he said goodbye to her and has hoped she stays safe. Doesn't know what the future holds, but she's gonna have to believe in something different. And then I heard you could have gotten away. You could have taken your freedom. You could have left. You could have left. Somebody didn't leave. And then there was an emergency, some kind of major emergency. And then all of it changed. Everything changed. And while I was drawing that and getting that, I was also getting this. So I don't know if he met her, he met up with her, they talked, or this is his daughter. And because it's really hard for me to tell the difference, even though I know they're different character, just how I drew it. Because I think seeing what he's gone through and all, I don't think he loves easily, but he always has had love for his daughter, and that has never changed. So this very well could be the daughter. However, it could be the new love too. It's really a back and forth. I got Hello Beastie. So that reminded me when I heard Hello Beastie, the last time I heard that was in the movie Maleficent, when she tells the little girl, hello Beastie, and pretends like she hates her and doesn't like her and can't stand her, but really she adores the little girl. And the kiss of true love is what broke the spells in the end of Sleeping Beauty. And it was that love. So maybe it's the father-daughter bond, not necessarily the I'm in love with someone bond. This is not his daughter for sure. This is. That I got clearly. This one I was unsure of. And so maybe I want to say this is more the daughter because the face is more round and this one is more thinned out. Not that the daughter's obviously thin and in good shape. It's just the structure of the features and the genetics. But I got Hello Beastie, so it's maybe this camaraderie between the father and daughter now where they kind of poke at each other a little bit. And then again, I got something about a long flight. Somebody needs to take a very long flight. And then I had that song come into my head. Well, I got a sense of urgency. I am your worst nightmare. You should not have touched her. You should not have done that. So I don't know if somebody did something to the daughter. I think somebody did something to this woman though. And the reason I say that is because that song, I forget who sings it, The Price of Evil came up, and Brown Crown or Broken Crown came up. And I have run out of time, so I will have to finish this in just a second. Okay, I'm back. I had a major interruption and about 2 hours has lapsed since I started recording this video. So I'm sitting back down and seeing where I was. You'll have to excuse me, this may come off completely different with my downloads now. I know I had talked about the gentleman being stoic, and I wanted to marry you, falling in love, not easy, but it's not easy. So I guess maybe he fell for the girl, but something wasn't easy, so he had to go back because there was too much baggage that he was carrying, or there were things he couldn't just walk away from, but something was going on. I'm not getting any animosity or any anger or anything bad. If anything, she's in his face here, which means he's focused on her. That's his left side. She's on the left side, right under his eye. And she seems content, like she doesn't seem angry about it. So I don't see where she has anything, is angry at him or anything against him or anything that's got her stressed about that. So I'm not sure why he feels like that. I did get up here, you drive me crazy. And maybe it's because she's looking in this direction and not looking in his direction or the same direction he is, because he's kind of behind her back here. He's not really in front of her. But again, she's got a matter-of-fact look on her face on the right side, which is masculine energy, movement forward. And the left side, she looks very concerned and almost stressed. But the right side, she looks like she's got it all together. So I'm not sure if that's, whatever it is, it may not be about him. There may be something going on that he does not know about that is a problem. And this may not be an actual rabbit in her chest. She may still have him on her heart, possibly, but he's not there. And depending on the time frame, I mean, maybe she expected him to be back at a certain time and he never came back. Maybe there's no communication. I didn't get one way or the other. But he's watching her. I don't know if he's communicating with her. So I'm kind of confused on that. I got the song by Sao Lynn. It's a Scottish Gaelic song, or Irish, Scottish, Gaelic. It's Gaelic. So Shealé, which is the light of day, the brightness of the light of day. So maybe she's Scottish, maybe she has blonde hair. I mean, the way her arms are crossed is set, maybe she's got some gumph to her. Not quite sure. So maybe that is him she has on her heart, but maybe, I mean, if she's Scottish, maybe she's a bit old-fashioned and expects the gentleman to make the first step. Maybe she thought he wasn't as interested in her as she was in him. Either way, she is focused in this direction, but something has her under concern. And then I said, time's up, I gotta go, I ran out of time. That I remember saying that right when I cut the video off. So maybe something happened and she has run out of time to wait on anyone. Maybe something's going on where she can't just sit around and think about somebody, or maybe she doesn't have time to be on the phone with somebody. I'm not sure. I don't know if they're communicating or not communicating. That did not come up in this. But I think he wants her to have him on her mind more than she does, and I think it's driving him crazy. I'm not sure why. Maybe that this chaos and this madness is other women. Maybe a lot of women have him on their mind, and maybe that's why she walked away. Maybe she saw that he was in high demand and she wasn't important enough, so she just said, well, there you go. But when I was drawing her, I got the theme song from How to Train Your Dragon. So she's either Scottish or Irish or something of that descent here. I also got, when I was drawing her, this song by the Killers, This Is Your Life. So that, I know that song, the person's a little overwhelmed. So maybe something is overwhelming her and out of her control, and it's taking all of her focus. Again, that's This Is Your Life by the Killers. Those lyrics may be important to somebody. Let's see, what else did I get here? Oh, I got Colors by Ice-T. And Colors by Ice-T is a song about the red and the blues. And I don't mean the military. Maybe she's dealing with something that has to do with things in that song, and all her focus is on her own safety and her own protection, because when he left, he did say, where was it? I had that, stay safe, I think it was. What did I write that down? Let's see. I thought I put it somewhere, because I remember saying stay safe earlier in the video. So maybe he thought she's fine and that everything's okay. Maybe she comes across as having it all together and extremely easygoing. Maybe she doesn't talk about what she really knows and what she really sees and what's really happening. She does have one eyebrow raised here. I don't know if that's significant or not. So then like I said, I got emergency. Oh, that was it. I got stay safe. You need to walk on, stay safe. The future's unknown. So that's, maybe he left and said, stay safe. Maybe that was it. Maybe he just left. Maybe there was no communication. Or if there was communication, maybe she didn't feel like he was that interested. Maybe he was so busy with what was going on that she took it as disinterest. I'm not quite sure. You gotta believe it. You could have got away. You could have had your freedom. But there was an emergency. So whatever the emergency was, I drew this. This looks like her in shock and surprise. Something's wrong. Something is wrong. She's had a tower moment, an issue, something's come up. And then I got a sense of urgency, which of course, when I had to cut the video off, I did say, I gotta go, I ran out of time. I'm not sure what that means, what ran out of time, but something is definitely wrong. And then I got your worst nightmare. You should have known it's your worst nightmare. So I don't know if it's her worst nightmare, but when I was drawing this, the gentleman here with his hat, his glasses on, I got that song, I think it's by Sevenfold, I could be wrong, Your Worst Nightmare. You should have known the price of evil. I don't remember all the lyrics word for word. And then I got Broken Crown, and I came back down here, or up here and down here. I kept going back and forth drawing, and I got the Killers, This Is Your Life. And we can put that there. And then I heard like boom, like an explosion, like I felt like something was big. And I remember that song, who's it by? The song that goes boom. And in the song, I heard big ass D, or D big ass, or big ass D. So I'm not sure, because that song is kind of an intense song. Maybe the person maybe he's a big guy. Maybe he's a very big guy and he is about to put his foot down on something. But evidently, maybe something really bad happened to her. And maybe he's found out about it, because then the next thing I got was a long flight. and poetry in motion. And I'm not quite sure what that was. And when I finished the drawing up and I was completely done with everything and I closed it all up and was getting ready to start recording, I heard the song She Blinded Me with Science. So I don't know if that's significant in this or not. But I think that's the main gist of what I got. I think when I got cut off, it was right at the emergency, which is kind of interesting when I got to that part. So I do find that interesting. Again, maybe this is the gentleman and his daughter, and maybe he took a long flight to her, or maybe it's a long flight to get to her. But either way, he's not with her. Or maybe he is and she doesn't know it. Maybe he is literally watching her. I'm not sure. That could be kind of creepy if she doesn't know. But again, this is what I got. Basic gist. I'm not 100% on the very end and the details, but I don't think I'm supposed to be. I think there's some things that they are working through. All right, let me see if I missed anything else since I had that major interruption. I'm sorry about that. Let's see. I do think that these two are pretty happy, and I think she likes to play. I really do think if this is the father-daughter watching this, because I really feel like she's the one that requested this from me, but he's with her or close to her or near her, or they're just close. She misses the playful, silly side of Dad. And when she gets intense, I think he gets frustrated with him because maybe he's not like him, but maybe he's like him when he was younger with less responsibility before he became stoic. Maybe he reminds her of when she was a kid and when things were okay and things were fun, and he brings that safety of that inner child out in her. Maybe he is really protective, not in the same way that he is. Maybe he's more controlling and is having to learn not to be as controlling with the daughter. Whereas he's probably a little more laid back. You see how he's kind of chilled out here, and he's not sure what he thinks of all of it, but she's happy. And I think that's part of it. The other thing I find interesting is he looks very revengeful at this woman here. And I can't really get her hair in good because there's so many faces around her. But she's the one that seemed to have the python spirit wrapped around him and coming down on him, trying to keep him from moving forward in any direction. But it's almost like there's lines in here, and it goes across his sacral chakra area. And it's like I can't draw it, I can't get it out, it's a mess. It's like she wants to sleep with him to keep him contained, but it almost reaches across to where he's holding her hand like she wants to get between these two also. But he looks very resentful of it, and I'm not sure if this is him and he went through a long hair phase, or that's him on one side. Maybe I just did too much hair in there. I'm not sure. For a second, I thought it was her, but it's too masculine. Maybe he went through a depression phase and grew his hair out a little bit before he trimmed it up. I do think he has a shorter cut, maybe receding slightly. All right, guys. Stay safe. I hope you guys enjoyed the reading today. It was pretty intense. And it was very interesting putting this together with the interruptions and everything that were going on. While I was doing this last video, I did have an incoming message from a daughter saying you need to call me. So maybe he needs to call his daughter. Or maybe once he receives this, he needs to call his daughter. Maybe he's the one requested it, but they're just both very close. I do feel like I was pulled from the feminine energy first today, though. So maybe they need to communicate better, and maybe they both have a lot of love for each other, and they're closer than they think. And just like his mother and he, maybe they are too much alike and they butt heads. Even though he wants to help her and be there for her, and maybe she's self-sufficient because he's self-sufficient. Maybe she can do it all by herself, and maybe that's this one. Maybe he wants to help her, but maybe she doesn't know it. Or maybe he wants to help both of them and they butt heads and she's clueless. But these two, maybe they fight. Maybe they've fought since the mother got sick and died, unless it was his mother. I do really feel like, though, they're miscommunicating more than anything. I feel like both of them have, with the hand holding here, and she's older now. I feel like they have a lot of love for each other. And I think she wants him to see her not as the little girl that needs protection, but who she is as a woman now, yet be who he was when she was a little girl. More laid back. And I think he is probably more like the father, this boyfriend, than the father, and she realize. However, because of his age and because of where he is, I mean, they do not, maybe they have children. I don't think that they do yet, because they seem like they're dating. They don't seem married, just the way he's peering over. I don't get an abusive vibe from him. I get a more chill, relaxed, he uses his brain a lot, more analytical, that's the word I'm looking for, vibe from him. So maybe these two are both extremely analytical. He's just a lot younger with a lot less experience and hasn't seen what he has seen in life. He seems pretty intense. So maybe he's concerned that she's like her mom and he's like him, and it's not going to work because it didn't work with mom. Or maybe he thinks that she needs more protection. Maybe he's just been through too much life. Either way, these two need to communicate a little bit better. Not that they don't communicate well, but I think on the level of being honest with each other about what they need to see from each other. And maybe they don't communicate their love to each other as much as they should, and maybe they do, because here you can see them kind of buddied up, and it's kind of like she's got her arm around him and he looks a little stiff and rigid, but he's not moving forward in the direction he wants to with ease. Something's blocking him through the elbow and his whole right side, and maybe he's not allowing himself to move forward. Maybe he's holding himself back, whether that's this girl and he's not moving forward with it because he had so much to clean up and take care of, or that one. But like I said, this is what's in his focus right now. All right, guys, I'm going to let you go. And I hope you enjoyed that drawing today. This is going to be a longer one. And hopefully you'll stick around and watch the drawing, because like I said, you can see the whole thing kind of play itself out and pop in and out. And I will see you on the next one. Thanks.
is someone to save me. I can't find myself. I'm totally lost.